Good evening and welcome back to the Bear Cave. I'm Teddy and you are listening to Night Talk. So go ahead, grab a glass of wine and join me because we're going to get into something maybe for half an hour or so. I keep saying that and I keep staying up until, midnight. So let's try, or for me, I'm going to try to wrap this up by 11 o'clock. But I think it's important to just go ahead and address some things before it gets, let's just say, too far out there. All right, out of hand. And the narrative, which is already beginning to be spun, just, gets away. All right. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears. I call the Grizzlies. Please hit the like on your way in. Also to the honey bears, biggest bear hugs, right? To my moderators, glad you're here tonight. Let's see who is in the chat. And we always have someone, like listening. Let me know that the sound is good. I'm going to change this. Let's see, background like that. Make sure it's on. Hang on. All right. I have so much that I'm trying to do and get done. Deadlines. But this needs to be addressed as well. All right. So there was a post created, and apparently it was created a couple of days ago. And it would have been and is in response to my videos that I've tried to have remain on this platform. But if you've been following me for the last week, I've had a total of 6 privacy complaints and a strike. All right. All in a week's time. So my opinion, this post that was created, and I'm just going to say by this individual, Lenora. It appears to be a strategic move to, I'm just going to say it, frame herself as a victim while avoiding addressing any concrete evidence or claims. So she takes to social media. I'm on social media with this emotional appeal and vague threats of legal action. I think to maybe discourage any scrutiny. And given her previous aggressive responses, and I broke them down, I showed you some of them from a previous video, and had AI even do analysis. It just seems like a preemptive. That's what it is. Preemptive. Attempt to control the narrative before I even get a chance to break everything down on my YouTube channel. Because every time I try to talk about it, break anything down around Danielle, it's halted. It's there's an attempt to control, not just from her recently, the narrative, but this is how it's been for a long time. Okay. And so I think, again, this is my opinion, I think that her post isn't really about proving anything. No. I think it's about controlling the narrative. Yes. I think it's about controlling the narrative and getting ahead of it or setting the stage so that when the time comes, if there's any evidence or whatever, that people already have a bias view. And this has occurred before, that a biased view is already out there. Mm-hmm. And what that does, really, it's a classic attempt at manipulation. Mm-hmm. It's a tactic. Get ahead, control the narrative, because by the time a person, really gets into it, people are going to think a certain way. Mm-hmm. That's how I think it is. And then in this post, speaking of a revenge plot, that's what it sounds like. That this claim that I'm seeking revenge now, that's not what this is about at all. I'm not looking for revenge. I'm not someone else. But it plants the seeds. And again, it seems like it's a preemptive attempt to control the narrative. It does. It's like playing defense before I can even lay out anything. Again, it's about controlling the narrative, in my opinion. Classic manipulation, deflect, discredit, claim victimhood. Because if you look at the post, and I have it, and then get it broken down, it says if she's positioning herself as the one being unfairly targeted, and then painting me as being an aggressor. So then again, that way, if I show or share any kind of receipts, she can just dismiss them as being again, part of a revenge plot or something, rather than addressing facts. It's a major tactic. I've talked about this tactic before. Instead of owning her involvement in any way in Daniel Robertson's strikes on my channel, she's making it seem like she's only ever defended innocent people. And it's making it harder for people who don't know the full story to see the bigger picture. Because if she felt confident in her position, she wouldn't need to do this. And the fact that she's posting this now suggests, I'll just, you know, concerned about something that might be revealed. I'm just asking the question. I'm just showing receipts. And again, instead of addressing the facts and trying to discredit me with words like bitter or revenge, it's a classic move. When people want to avoid the real questions. The real questions. Who is Daniel Robertson? That's what I want to get at. It seems like she's going out of her way to begin to paint this. Well, the attempts have been made before. And I didn't know to what extent. But it really makes me wonder, what are you afraid might come out? It seems like she wants to make it seem like I'm attacking her instead of acknowledging that Danielle is actively trying to silence me. No. And I just needed to say that. Let me pause for a minute. Because really, she is not my focus. It would be a means to an end. And the end point for me is finding out who Daniel Robertson, her identity. Yeah. So I can see how this narrative is starting to be formed. This has happened before to create a thought that I would be, just planning subtle that if someone contacts the family of this or that, or I can actually, refer to the post. I haven't done that. Mm, no. So instead of controlling the narrative and just letting her push that out there without, you know, at least me saying something like I've said, I think it's important enough. Mhm. I think it is. Just like now, just address it. Because I want people to understand that I'm committed to getting at the truth. It's not about all the drama, but it is about facts. It's about facts. That I want the truth to come out, not some spin in a runaway train. Because there's some real questions. Like I said, who is Danielle Robertson? Really? And and why is Lenore so invested? It's just a question. It's obvious. It's obvious when I've attempted to talk about this specifically that now 7 attempts have been made to blunt the truth from coming out or just a discussion. They are my receipts. They are receipts. I'm not creating something. And certainly, if any type of, I'll just say it for the sake of saying it, like maybe planning hysteria, or like something is about to take place and they need to make this kind of move and that. No. No. But I do have a right. When I come across things, I can say, like, I can ask a question and have a real discussion about it. I don't need to hurl insults, innuendos, and veiled threats. I don't need to try to intimidate someone. I don't need to try to, you know, introduce other people, family members, and this and that. I don't have a need for that. Just introduce receipts. Just back up your claims. Because things are being said that are just, they're just false. I will point out one thing that is false. Let's look. If she's referring to me, and I think perhaps she is in this statement, I'm quoting, and this is fair use commentary, and a person can use quotation for education, for criticism. So, in a recent statement that was contained in this post, she starts off by saying, quote, "It has come to my attention that I am being accused of not being author, her name. A few weirdos are stating that I am impersonating the author." It's so vague. Who are these few weirdos? Without, specifying. Who made the accusation? Who? Is this an attempt to, in this statement, um, to, make this claim or that without directly um, addressing? Is it even valid? I didn't make that claim. How many people know that I have, even in my previous video, even posted, put up that this individual was an author? It seems that there might be someone in the background trying to manipulate this individual too, by either dropping that, saying this rumor. I can just picture this because it's been done before, this tactic to get someone whipped up. Mhm. To incite a kind of a response or plant false information. Mhm. So, I mean, it doesn't provide any proof other than her assertion. So, who made the accusation? Since right out of the gate, she would want to make that kind of statement. It wasn't me. How many times have I said this individual is a public figure? How many times? And now, I mean, this is like so far to the left to me to even say that. It's come to my attention that I'm being accused of not being author X, Y, and Z. That you're impersonating the author. I've never said she's impersonating an author. Her pictures are there. You know, her books are there. So maybe she has to be referring to someone else. But she's talking about me. But she has to be referring, at least alluding to someone. I mean, that's just, to me, an example of the first, part of the post. And then further down the line, yes, I know this one is directed or about me. Oh, what is that? Let's see what it was. Let me read it. Oh, so a little further down in the post, I'm quoting. She says, further, I am aware of the individual who is still bitter about my 2023 opinion of her and wants revenge. Rather than to name me directly, she implies that I am motivated. Yes, I'm bitter and I want revenge rather than the facts. It's shifting again to this narrative. It's fraught with emotion, words that might charge bitter and revenge. Have I talked about that? If people don't know the background, if people don't even understand what we were talking about last week and how I even referred back to this post, my video from 2023, I wasn't even talking about it. It was brought up in the chat. And I said I'd go back and see if I can find my video. My receipts. So it wasn't a deliberate, attempt. Then you can go back. Well, you can't go back to my video because it's been struck. Hmm. So I just wanted to, um, come and say a few things about it and just kind of reiterate. I really think the post is strategic. Mhm. To control the narrative before I even have any chance to go any further and break anything down or think about things, talk about them. The person can ask a question like, but I don't just do it without trying to lay out a why. I don't just say things without, trying to explain why I'm thinking that way. Or then asking my audience, or, you know, what do you think? Or here's why. There's a history. There's a lot of receipts that could be pulled out. It's about controlling the narrative. I mean, that's the big picture, controlling the narrative. And it does seem kind of strange that there is this, I'll just call it a pattern of defense, sudden defense that came during that video, sudden defense again when I talk about it. Why? If she's not involved, why react so strongly? Why make any legal threats if there's nothing to hide? I mean, why would a third party, just jump to defend someone so aggressively? It does, for me, suggest some kind of personal stake. I I haven't said that this individual is a family member, but they're behaving, they're responding so personally, so strongly. So when she says, to her audience on her post, um, referring back to her giving her opinion in 2023, did she tell them what happened? No. They don't have a clue. They don't have the backstory. She's making it seem like it's about her, and it's not. Like from someone from the outside, as if it was, I attacked her, first, and now she's telling her audience, that I'm bitter about something. Your opinion. No, it's not revenge. It's about truth. It's not about revenge at all. It's about truth. It's about truth. And that's what matters. Let me see if I can put my headphones on. Make sure. Yeah. By the way, you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. This is very strategic. I have got to get past, for those of you who have been following me, this first major hurdle. And I may not get it across to the court that proof that this location, this registered agent, a registered agent in Delaware, Dover, Delaware, is Daniel Robertson's registered agent. It's obvious. Yeah. The summons and complaint was, sent by a processor. Now there's a question about because that location has more than one registered agent. Mhm. And it was accepted by a registered agent who is the name of the registered agent that Daniel Robertson put on one of her statements to YouTube. Sometimes she has just put the address without putting a registered agent, and other times she has put a registered agent. And for this judge, it needs to be this is what she wants. So I've been working on trying to, put together information that would confirm that. However, with registered agents, their job is to protect the identity of these LLCs. So they won't give information. Okay. Any. They won't even confirm or deny that a said person is, part of that. They won't even tell you if they received the information or not. They won't confirm it. Hang on for a second. Even if you say, all right, I see the name, been accepted, they'll say, well, our process is something like this. When it comes in, it goes to the mailroom, and then it's open and uploaded to the person's account. But if it's addressed to, and it was addressed to her specifically, the question then becomes, well, how do you know where to, since there are quote unquote so many different pieces of information that come, how do you know? Because I haven't had anything returned. Yeah. Oh, then what happens is they put it in a, slot or whatever that is unknown. So, well, okay, what happens to the unknown? Well, it's returned to the sender. Well, I haven't had anything returned. So it's like circular, vague. And here's why, because they can't say it's legal. You know what I'm saying? They can't. And so I'm being very transparent with my audience every step of the way. And to make it clear, this, I have a deadline to respond, and it's April the 10th. I believe that's next Thursday. Okay. And then it usually takes a week for the judge to make her decision. And she might come back and say yes, or she may come back and say, I didn't show cause, and then set it aside. And if it's set aside, she can either give me more time, but this has been the second time, right? She can either give me more time to try to get her served or convince, get more documentation that would support it's her registered agent. Or This time she could just dismiss the case. Mhm. So I have to be prepared for any of that. Yeah. That's why I say I don't know what I'm going to run into. Right? Someone asked me, well, Kimmy's is there. Yeah. Okay. If you look at her green register card that the um, marshals delivered, there wasn't a signature there either. It was Ben who accepted it. Okay. But she has a different judge. The courts, that's just how it goes. One might have questions and others might not. And maybe, not maybe. It's because the U.S. Marshal sent out the register. So maybe that's good enough. That helps her. All right. I have to be concerned with getting past this first step. And I have clearly stated, I don't care who gets the information first. I'm supporting them. I really don't. But yes, Love Wins says, can't hide forever. DR, this is what she's, it's clear that she has said it. She'll never be found. She always wins. And there's layers upon layers. Yeah. I also said last week, I guess it was last week when all this information was coming out and King World was, showing some reason. Maybe it's been in the last 2 weeks, okay? There was some denial about even being who gave pushback about Danny Nirvana even being Danny Nirvana or Daniel Robertson, this soul cyclist. That she used that name, Danny Nirvana. That's what she was known by. So that can't be denied. Yeah, I'm just pointing to that one. Yeah. It was Danny Nirvana. And when I showed the receipt of a link at least to following Danny Nirvana, that's when the privacy complaints began. And then the strike. So that's how this came about. It wasn't direct. It was a result of, in the video, talking about Danny Nirvana. And saying, oh, wow, I haven't thought about that. Someone remembered. Say, you're right. Let me go and find out. I did make reference to that. I had forgotten about it. So to take that, when it's not just a statement, it's a receipt that I could show my audience. And then they don't want that receipt up. So what do? You strike my video and then keep filing privacy complaints so that none of those receipts are up on my videos. Yeah. So their audience doesn't even know that part, let alone all the history and the questions that I could ask. And oh, by the way, I did check. So you guys know, I mentioned early on, I said she even, Lenore, had my post or had a post up with me in my bathrobe on that day when the police came to. Mhm. So I went to take a look, and it appears that that post has been removed. It was up for a long time. Well, since then, since 2022, it's been up for years. But when I went to look now, I didn't see it. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong YouTube page. I don't know. Channel. Maybe I am. She might have more. It seems like I thought it was on her main channel. Maybe it's on another one. But when I checked on her channel, I didn't see it. Yeah. And I did ask her not too long ago. I've said, you might want to think about taking that down. And she had a long, post comments about it. Yeah. So she was promoting, humiliating me. She was promoting, supporting Danielle Robertson and her shenanigans of making fraudulent, wellness checks. This author, since she says in the statement that trying to make people believe that she's not. No, this author. There you have it. This author. So you can throw that one out. I underscored it. This author, Lenora. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's not a privacy violation for me to say it. No. There's lots of authors. I don't even know if that's her name. Yeah. But I accept that it is. So it's the author, Lenora. Okay. So let me read some of your comments. Yeah. Um, and I know people are listening. And I know there's a troll or two. And you know what? I didn't even make Facebook Live. It is 11 o'clock. I said I would go. Stop it at 11. Yeah. I did kind of, I've ended what I wanted to say on that tonight. Yeah. I want to stay focus on my objective. And right now I have something, uh, I got to clear that. And then if that happens, then I can go to next steps. Go ahead, please hit the like and subscribe. Yeah. The intuitive. Yes. Lily the intuitive. Love Wind says. Yeah. Mm. And Wind Doves Cry. I haven't seen you in a while, so Wind Doves Cry. Says, good evening, Teddy, mods, and chat. I support everything you do and continue to fight for justice, not only for yourself, but others who are afraid to speak. There are a lot of people afraid to speak. And there are a lot of injustices and lots of strikes. I heard about somebody else, another content creator, getting a strike. I think it was today. Aaron, or I don't even watch his channel, but I saw it. What a shame that this individual can I wonder would YouTube just look and see how many people she strikes in a week. She just struck me. Or it says Lenora. Who struck me? I don't know. But this Danielle, she gets away with this. And the use of impersonation and or, these bogus email and accounts. This Miss Williams, and there's Alana, and if I showed you all the ones that she's used to strike me, yeah, so much, so many. But YouTube, what does YouTube do? You have to follow they have to follow the legal process, and yeah, sometimes they use bots. And sometimes they use humans. It's a big YouTube is, YouTube Google is huge. And it's just, when one person is focused on themselves, like I'm focused on my strike or whatever, you don't think that there's many others. Of course, they have resources and they have people, working to look into things, but it takes time. And yeah, sometimes things go by and other times they don't get by or whatever. Yeah. It's not like it's the luck of the draw. It's, they make it clear. Sometimes it's machine, bot, and sometimes it's human. And even humans can make, well, we know they can. Yeah. It's not, oh, it's storming here. So my dog just heard the thunder. The minute he was just sitting here so quiet. It's been raining. Yeah. I was about to say, it's not what you say, right? It's what you can prove. As much as you know the truth, you've got to prove it. That's fair. You say a bear pup. I need to turn the camera on just to show my dog. He looks like a little bear. It's time for him to get, well, we're coming out of winter. It's time for his spring cut. I'm going to get it done. Yeah. probably end of the month. My other dog, I never had to have its hair cut. It was a Shiba, like a fox. Yeah, you don't. They never have to be cut ever. Yeah. Um, and he's gone. Lovewind says, "My family is surrounding me." Quote, "My family doesn't play about me." Quote, "I have heard a content creator say that many times. Many times. Probably just a coincidence." Um, Lenore said it. She's a content creator. That was part of the 32 statements that I was reviewing and tried it with AI to get um, the analysis. Mhm. Be interesting, push uh, that post through, break it down. Yeah. Yeah. My family doesn't play about me. But what is that implying? Yeah. If the individual is not a threat or doing, making a threat, I mean a real, like they feel like they're in danger or something. Yeah. But if a family member would intercede to do something that could harm an individual just because, they are talking, uh, you know, about their family member, and I'm not even talking, when I say talking, like in some way that's going to bring harm or whatever. I mean, actually doing something. Mhm. Yeah. Family. It's, again, uh, some people try to leverage that. It's like, I've got my family and they're going to do this or that to, kind of intimidate, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to engage with the family. Yeah. It would be just about like this. You want to talk about something? We can talk about it. Yeah. But I can just imagine what is going on in the background. Like, um, a person might want to take advantage, and I'm talking about Danielle, of a situation to try to make it seem that things are a certain way. And you know what they have a history of doing, contacting the board and this and that, or maybe encouraging someone to file a false complaint. Hmm. Yeah. All right, it's been an hour and it's 11:16. Let me go ahead and check my email, and maybe I can come back in the morning. Yeah. All right. Hang on for a second.
You're never here when my tears dry. You're never around to see me thrive. When it's my birthday or my day off, you got other plans and can't show up. But when life deals me a hand, all of a sudden you're the first to come. Always there to help and listen. You're just a friend when I come undone. I have to fall apart to get to see you again. You only have a heart when mine is bleeding, some kind of friend. If I would win the lottery, you wouldn't be happy for me. But if I blew it all in one day, you'd be there to hug my pain away. 'Cause in tricky situations, you are the best friend that I've ever had. But it's such a funny feeling when you get enjoyment of seeing me sad. I have to fall apart to get to see you again. You only have a heart when mine is bleeding, some kind of friend. You're never here when my tears dry. You're never around to see me thrive. I guess you hate when I feel great, and love it when I made a new mistake. I have to fall apart to get to see you again. You only have a heart when mine is bleeding, some kind of friend.
All right. So that is going to do it for me. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Go ahead and hit the like if you choose to. And yeah. But now it's time to say good night. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.
My day off, you got other plans and can't show up. But when life deals me a hand, all of a sudden you're the first to come. Always there to help and listen. You're just a friend when I come undone. I have to fall apart to get to see you again. You only have a heart when mine is bleeding, some kind of friend. If I would win the lottery, you wouldn't be happy for me. But if I blew it all in one day, you'd be there to hug my pain away. 'Cause in tricky situations, you are the best friend that I've ever had. But it's such a funny feeling when you get enjoyment of seeing me sad. I have to fall apart to get to see you again. You only have a heart when mine is bleeding, some kind of friend. You're never here when my tears dry. You're never around to see me thrive. I guess you hate when I feel great, and love it when I made a new mistake. to see you again.